Hi there, in Powerfully Unlabeled here. There's some things I want to talk about today. I am sitting here at a park and kind of watching. It's that time of year where you've got singles or pairs of squirrels just they're working really hard at gathering their nourishment for the winter. And I'm also seeing well, you could probably hear them in the video too. There's all these black crows everywhere, just sitting up in the trees, just kind of watching these squirrels do their work, and noticing that the crows are actually they're very smart. They're going down and they are watching for where the squirrels are burying their nuts and such, and they are going down and they are taking them. They are taking they are taking from the squirrels what the squirrels have found. They're working so hard for everything, and then it's just being taken from them, and it's kind of sad, you know. But in my observations of that, you know, I want to talk about the importance of self-care and how, especially, you know, I live my life as, you know, with extrasensory gifts. Like I feel and sense things. I can feel emotions and energies very intensely within myself and from outside sources and within. And growing up that way was very confusing. I didn't quite understand it. You know, through a lot of trials and tribulations throughout my life, I confused a lot of it to be my own, but also, you know, just feeling like a victim all the time, and just really throughout much of my life, it caused, you know, depression, anxiety, you know, fear of social interaction, that kind of thing, you know. I suffered with that throughout a lot of my life. And this last few years, I have worked on myself. You know, I've done a lot of inner journey of how I can empower myself to not fall into these traps. And a huge part of a huge part of healing myself of, you know, social anxiety, playing victim to people who, you know, take from you without giving back. You know, I've had some very profound realizations through that. And one big one is that I have control over who I choose to surround myself with and who I don't. And a lot of the times that, you know, before I come to these major realizations, that taking care of myself, self-care, is not only very okay, but it's essential. And it's about balance. You can't just, if you think about a glass full of water and your ability to give to others is shown by the amount of water in that glass, you know, it's pretty obvious that if you keep giving your water away without receiving water back, eventually that water is going to be all gone. And you just simply can't keep giving if your glass is empty. You know, many people who are sensitive, you know, empathic type of people, at extreme levels, such as myself, we tend to give. We give a lot, you know, and you know, a huge reason for that is because we feel so intensely that we know what it's like. We know what it feels like to be empty, and we don't want other people to feel empty, because when other people feel empty, we feel empty, you know. And so there's this trap that I myself have fallen into of, when you actually do have a very empty glass and then you have no choice but to care for yourself, and then you allow this guilt to come in, this guilt for taking care of yourself instead of others. And this is a mindset that, if you can break yourself of this mindset, that self-care is not selfish, you know, and it is about balance. You know, it is about balance. You give, you get, you receive, you give. It's all about the balance. But do not allow other people or yourself to feel guilt for taking care of yourself. Little ways that I take care of myself, just like now, is I'm pulling over into this park and I love the trees. You know, the tree energy is just, it fills up my cup. I love it, you know. So I'm sitting in this park by myself and I am feeling joy in that. So I'm taking care of myself in that way. You know, there are different levels of self-care. You know, you do what makes you feel happy, you know, what makes you feel happy, and giving yourself the time to experience what makes you feel happy inside and what fills up your cup. And it's not selfish. It's not, it's essential. I cannot give if I have nothing left to give. I cannot give if I have nothing left to give. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I just keep telling myself that. Break that thought pattern that says it's selfish. It's not selfish. It's not. Okay? So that's a big thing that I wanted to get out today. And a big thing that's really helped me to break through these feelings of guilt and shame for giving to myself. You know, another thing that's really helped me out is I began to really pay attention to the people that I surround myself with. And I paid attention to how much I was giving to those people. And I also paid attention to if that was balanced or not. Does that make sense? Like the amount of action time that I was giving to certain individuals, were they giving their time to me in the same way? I'm not talking about materialistically. I'm not talking about giving you presents, like physical presents. I'm talking about just giving their time to you, you know, like a simple text or phone call. Hey, how you doing, friend? You know, I'm thinking about you. Or you know, how was your day? You know, just random time that they will give to you, not just on birthdays and holidays. Those are programmed times where, you know, humans, you know, can fall into this trap of, you know, this holiday where you're kind of expected to give you give them a present, they give you a present. Like, that's not a random act of love, you know. I'm not saying there's no love in it. I'm just saying, you know, that could be a false sense of love when it's a materialistic gift. I'm talking about a genuine time that they give to you, and not when it's your idea, when it's their idea, you know. And it doesn't take that much. It really doesn't. It's like just a little text, hey friend, you know, anything like that the acknowledgement that they care about you is really huge. So I really began to pay attention to that. And I found that most of the people that I surrounded myself with, there was a major imbalance in the time, the energy, and the action that I gave to them as opposed to what they gave back to me. And I also noticed that the times that they did come to me was when they noticed that I had stopped giving to them. That's a huge thing, you know. And those times that I stopped giving was literally when my cup was completely empty. You know, because I love to give. I do. And there were times that my cup was so empty that I would literally be bedridden, depressed, and just completely drained to where I didn't even want to get out of bed. There would be days, sometimes even weeks, that I just was fallen so deep into depression because I was not giving to myself. I was choosing to surround myself with people who were consistent takers, you know, who would give their time to me when it was convenient to them. See, there's a confirmation of the ambulance. It was only when I was completely down and out, where they stopped getting that flow of energy from me, that they noticed that I needed care. And that's not how friendship should work. Real friendships are reciprocable, to where one person randomly will give their time to that person and the other person randomly gives time to that one. And it's not something that's forced or guilted or shamed into doing. It just happens naturally because they want to. They want to be there for each other. You know? So it's hard. It's hard it was really hard for me to cut myself off of these people, especially the ones that I have been friends and family with for months, years, decades even, that I made the choice to say, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I cannot, I need to love myself and value myself enough to surround myself by more people who will reciprocate their time. I consider spending time with someone as the most unconditional type of love that you can give. And those are the type of people that I want in my life, that I desire in my life. And yes, it's hard. It's hard to walk away from that. I know that. I know that. Listen to the crows, yeah. And they will try to guilt you and shame you and make you feel like you're this villain for cutting them off. But you're not. Making the choice to love yourself is the best thing that you can do for yourself. You cannot give if you have an empty cup. You just can't. And your life is no less important than anyone else's. Everyone is equally important. Okay? I love you. Have a beautiful day. And I will be talking to you, seeing you again. Mwah.